Let's now go to Parliament, where my colleague Joseph Opoku-Gakpo is standing by to give us more on all the happenings in the House. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo, we are aware about the controversial LGBTQ plus discussions ongoing because that bill will be laid on Monday. And we're also aware of the report that should be submitted on the Sputnik V investigations and others that are happening in Parliament. Bring us up to speed.
Contracts. Well, the update on that is that the House couldn't take that report to allow for the necessary debate and possible adoption of it. We gather that some final details of that particular report are being worked on. Today is actually the deadline that Parliament gave the 9-member committee chaired by Alexander Penyomakin to then submit its report to the House on this particular probe. But gathering indicate that communication had actually gone from the committee asking for some documentation, because as we know, there had been the issuing of various letters of credit to allow for the purchase of some of these vaccines, which there's a bit of controversy about whether the said amount had been paid or otherwise. We gather that there was an attempt by the committee to solicit some more clarification from the finance minister on this. We know that the health minister is the only individual who actually appeared before the committee as far as ministers are concerned to respond to questions on this. He appeared with his head of legal as well as his director of supply chain and his chief director to come respond to questions. No such communication went to the finance minister to appear before the committee, but we gather that behind the scenes the committee has sought to get some clarification from the finance minister on this, and those documents are expected, which will then finalize its report. So that report did not come to the House today, which is actually the deadline. The minority leader, Haruna Idrisu, made the point on the floor of the House that next week, before the House goes ahead to adjourn on Friday, space should be made so that then by then the committee would have finalized the report, and then they would then go ahead and present it to the plenary for the necessary debate and approval. We gather that there are some disagreements at the level of the committee in terms of what some of the recommendations should be, and also what some of the facts as were gathered when the committee went ahead with its public probe. And those are the things that they're hoping to finalize by early next week, so that then before the close of the week, the report will be submitted and then the necessary approval will be done. On the bit having to do with the anti-gay bill, as it's come to be called, that is still yet to be brought to the House officially to allow for the necessary debate on it. Well, we see in the business statement, which is the outline of business that the House will be doing next week, that is something that the House will be dealing with next week, Monday. And what will be happening on Monday is what is called the presentation and first reading of the bill, during which we're expecting that the MPs who are actually championing it will offer some explanation on what this particular bill is all about and then what it's expected to achieve, after which the Speaker would refer the bill to one of the committees of Parliament, most likely the Committee on Constitution and Legal Affairs, and then they would go deliberate on it, and possibly somewhere in October, when the House resumes sitting from its long break, they will then go ahead and do what is called the second reading of the bill, during which they will debate the principles of the bill, and then after that there will be the necessary possible amendment, and then if there isn't so much of that to be done, then it will be approved by the House. So it's very much likely that it will take quite a while before the bill eventually gets approved, but we're expecting that on Monday that particular first presentation of the bill will be done by the 8 members of Parliament who are championing this particular bill. And we know that this is a private member's bill, one that is not being brought in by the Attorney General. So we're waiting to see how things will unfold next week, Monday, when Samuel George, Emmanuel Bedra, Reverend John Ntim-Fojo, and 5 other MPs go ahead and present this bill for the first reading. Aisha.
Joseph Opoku-Gakpo there with the updates from Parliament. We'll be bringing you more on Parliament in our subsequent bulletin.